Running, ran, and runs are obviously the same verb. You know that instantly. But to a naive search engine or a bag of words model, they are three completely different, unrelated tokens, which waste space and misses the obvious connection. Lemmatization is the fix. It reduces each of those forms back to a single dictionary word, the lemma, run, so the machine can finally treat them as one. And it does this using real grammar, not crude guesswork, which is exactly what separates it from its rougher cousin, stemming. Let's dig in. First, let's clear up the confusion with stemming, because the two get mixed up constantly. Stemming is the quick and crude approach. It just chops suffixes off the end of a word using fixed rules, with no dictionary involved. It is fast, but it often lands on something that is not even a real word. Studies become studi, and an irregular form like better is left completely untouched. Lemmatization is the careful approach. It consults an actual dictionary and uses grammar to map a word to its true base form, its lemma. That is why running, ran, and runs all collapse to run, and better correctly becomes good. It is slower and it needs real language resources, but the answer is always a genuine, meaningful word rather than a mangled fragment. So, how does a lemmatizer figure out the right base form? It is a short process, and context matters at every step. Follow it through. It begins with a single word sitting inside a sentence, not floating in isolation. That surrounding context turns out to be essential because the very same spelling can lemmatize to different roots depending on how it is being used. Next, it tags the word's part of speech, deciding whether it is acting as a verb, a noun, an adjective, and so on. This grammatical label is what lets it choose correctly. Meeting as a verb points one way, meeting as a noun points another. With the part of speech known, it looks the word up in a dictionary or a resource like WordNet to find a canonical base form registered for that particular usage. This lookup step is exactly why lemmatization needs real language data behind it. And it is also why it costs more than a quick rule that only trims letters off the end. Finally, it outputs the lemma, the single canonical word that unifies every inflected form. Meeting the verb resolves to meet, while the noun stays meeting, and all those scattered surface variants now point at one clean, shared entry. Strip it down, and three ideas capture what lemmatization does. First, it reduces every word to its dictionary base form. Inflections and irregulars alike collapse into one canonical lemma. So mice becomes mouse and better becomes good, shrinking the vocabulary a system has to deal with. Second, unlike stemming, it actually needs the part of speech and the surrounding context. That extra grammatical awareness is what lets it handle irregular forms and pick the right root when one spelling could mean two different things. Third, it unifies word forms for search, information retrieval, and classic bag of words features. By treating variance as one term, it improves matching and reduces sparsity. Though modern subword neural models often skip it and learn morphology straight from data. All right, let's lock in what matters. Lemmatization reduces a word to its dictionary base form, the lemma, using vocabulary and grammar, so running, ran, and runs all become run. Unlike stemming, which crudely chops suffixes and often produces non-words, lemmatization consults a dictionary and needs the part of speech and context to pick the right root. It shines for search, information retrieval, and bag of words features, improving matching and reducing sparsity by unifying different surface forms of a word so a query and a document line up even when their endings differ. It costs more than stemming and leans on resources like WordNet, and modern neural models often skip it, though it stays valuable for lightweight, interpretable pipelines. Enjoy having NLP untangled one idea at a time. There is much more waiting at standarity.com. See you there.